Here we have some duffel bags. Today we're going to be talking about the Mystery Ranch duffel bag. We'll be talking about the Osprey Transporter, and then we will also bring the Patagonia Black Hole into the mix. Now I only have room enough on this table for two, really, so we're going to start by comparing the Mystery Ranch and the Osprey, and then we'll take whatever the best of those two are and then compare that to the Patagonia. With our goal being to find out what is the greatest duffel bag in the world. So let's try to define what makes a good duffel bag in the first place. Well, I think a duffel bag is anything that you can carry $1 million in cash across the Mexican border to the cartel without getting caught. But in doing so, you'll obviously want something that's easy to manage, easy to open, it's durable as hell, it can take a beating. Now both of these bags are made out of fantastic materials. They're both made out of like a denier material that's got like a waterproof coating on them. And not only are they incredibly durable, but the waterproofness does work. Now you can't submerge these bags because the zippers aren't sealed, but then again, why would you want to? But these can absolutely take, like if it's a hard rain or snowing or anything like that, even if you frankly like dunk it into a river or lake accidentally, most of your contents in here are going to be just dry and just fine. Now the thing is that both of these bags have taken a little bit of a special approach to the duffel bag. The Osprey in particular has really put an emphasis on being able to carry this more like a backpack than you do a traditional duffel like with a strap. And I'm not necessarily sure that's a good thing in either of these cases. For example, let's talk about the Osprey first and basically its pros and cons. So the Osprey bag is one of the most comfortable strap systems I've ever carried on a bag, much less on a duffel bag. But the thing is you'll notice that's missing is like the traditional like handles that you just sort of, kind of bunch up together. And then maybe not necessarily a bad thing because you do have two handles both on the top and the bottom here, and then you also have two on the side. So once you fill the thing up, you really can just sort of walk around kind of holding it like this. And these are incredibly premium handles. They've got a sort of like kind of cushion feeling in it. They're incredibly durable. I mean, you can literally, you know that sort of test I did with the Mystery Ranch briefcase? You wouldn't have to worry about these bad boys breaking. So the thing is, but where it becomes a little bit annoying is that in order to put the straps on, you have to take the buckle, right? And then you just sort of clip it in. Thing is though, is that once it's clipped in, it gets in the way of the zipper. I see that this is not in frame. Let me put the Mystery Ranch aside for a second. Let's talk about the Osprey. So the thing is that these bags are designed to where you can take the straps and turn them into a backpack. And I have to admit that the Osprey has one of the most damn comfortable backpack systems that I've ever used. That said though, I think that they emphasize so much backpackness on this that they kind of neglected a little bit of the duffelness on this thing, and that's where I'm a little bit disappointed. First off, the bag is enormous. This is, I believe, a 65-liter bag, and the problem with literage with any bags is that most manufacturers either lie or just kind of throw out an arbitrary number. But nevertheless, this is what is called a 65-liter bag, and it is huge. You could probably store your whole house in this thing if you had to. But where I don't love it is that the zip system is done on sort of like the up and down, kind of like this. And I prefer, for a variety of reasons, a duffel to either go down the middle or to sort of like the Patagonia Black Hole, and we'll show that later on, but to then just sort of come out on the other side to where the flap is opening like this instead of like this. I don't know why I prefer that, but I do. For some reason, it just seems more intuitive and feels a little bit better. But you'll notice then that once you get into the bag, there is just a ton of storage. Not only do you have a zipper pocket on the end, I'm gonna try to get close-ups on these things. You have a zipper pocket in here where you could store, I don't know, maybe like shoes or sandals or your toiletries and that kind of stuff. But then you also have these like luggage straps that are on the bottom too. You've got the ability to, like, let's say put something heavy or like a suit or something and then like lash them down on the bottom. And that is a pretty clever touch. Now the other thing that I think is a very clever touch is that the backpack system, if you decide that you don't want to use it, you unzip this bit on the top here, you take the straps out, and then you clip them very fancily to these little buckles there on the bottom. And then you've got backpack mode. Couldn't be easier, faster, or better. Osprey designed that fantastically, much better than the Patagonia in my opinion. Most people aren't going to be transporting around a duffel like a backpack, but still it's worth noting that if you are a small framed person, you're going to look a little bit ridiculous wearing the 65-liter Osprey Transporter. The Osprey Transporter also has other clips here to allow for a strap. Also has the ability to take the sternum strap, which is nice, and of course the complimentary emergency whistle that Osprey puts on all of their things. But really using the Osprey Transporter is incredibly intuitive. It's a good feeling bag, it's durable, it is absolutely one of the best duffels you could probably buy. It's just not for me because it's a little bit too big. The other thing I like about it is that unlike the Mystery Ranch is that it kind of stands up a little bit on its own, a little bit better. Now you will notice that on the sides of the Osprey, you don't really have any access to inside storage. Now you will notice that on the bottom of the Osprey, you do have this one little like side pocket here that you can use, but otherwise it's a little bit vacant of external storage, and there's no internal access to the storage either other than the top pocket. Most people probably won't care about that too much, but it's at least worth noting, and it does have a couple of other little clips for carabiner straps. Now, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the Mystery Ranch. I don't like the Mystery Ranch duffel. I think that it is more backpack than duffel, and as a result, it's kind of failed at its mark. The materials are fantastic. It's made out of incredibly durable, good feeling, strong materials. It has a lot of internal storage. Open the lid here. It's got pockets on the inside too. You've got the dual pockets right here for toiletries and some other things. Oh, the other part here is this sort of, let me try if I can see if I can pull it out. If you unzip the top part here, it can allow you access to what is effectively like a wet bag thing where you could store your nasty, dirty clothes and that kind of stuff. But anyway, it does have a very, very comfortable backpack system built in, and much like the Osprey, you sort of, you don't clip it in quite as easily, but you hook it in here on these like little loops. So it is fairly fast and intuitive to use, but why I hate the Mystery Ranch duffel bag is because, look at it. It's just sort of collapsed in itself. And I don't think that there's any excuse for a duffel that can't sort of stand up on its own. It sort of nullifies the whole purpose of a duffel. Now, I did do a couple of real world tests with this bag where I shoved something like, I don't know, a couple of packs of beer in it for the Memorial Day weekend. And it wasn't that comfortable under load either. Aside from the fact that it did have padded straps, which was really, really nice. And it also had the sternum buckle as well, which is a really nice touch. But by all accounts, it just kind of felt a little bit awkward on the back under full load. And I don't know, the shape and everything about it just isn't all that good. I can't really recommend the Mystery Ranch duffel because it doesn't stand up on its own and it's a little bit uncomfortable to wear. But that said, if you are a Mystery Ranch fan, and I am a Mystery Ranch fan, this might be okay for you. It does have straps both on the sides. So it's just a floppy mess. And it also has them on the top and the bottom as well. And much like the Osprey, it is designed to where you can then sort of close the thing up. It does have the, whatever this up and down type of duffel is. And then once you zip it back up, you just use one of these straps to tote it around instead of having one of the standard duffel straps that you see in all the 80s movies. It does have a ton of clips too on it, so here you can pop a carabiner and load on whatever, God knows, whatever stuff that you might want on it. It's definitely a well-made bag, and when you wear it, here I'll just go ahead and put it on my back so you can see what it looks like. Good quality zippers. By the way, the zippers on all three bags are fantastic. Let's get that out of the way. I don't think you're gonna want for more quality on any of them. They're all going to take one hell of a beating. But once it's on your back, again, it's pretty large. What I love though, is that this one does have the tightening strap. So you do this number, and like now it's like more tighter against your body, except you have this whacking you in the head, which is a little bit weird and uncomfortable. Both of these bags are kind of like the Peak Design travel backpack. You know, it's sort of this large mouth opening, just sort of meant to be more backpack than it is anything else. And I kind of feel like Peak Design did it better than these guys did, or at least Mystery Ranch specifically. Again, the Osprey is a fantastic bag, and I think if you're wanting for a very large duffel that's comfortable to carry around, it will be almost perfect for that. It's just, again, it's just too big for my petite little body. But the Mystery Ranch just doesn't feel, there's nothing really about it that feels like you should have it. I don't know how to really say it or put my thumb on it, but if you're looking for a duffel bag that's enormous and comfortable to carry on as a backpack, go with the Osprey. And then if you're just looking for what is a fantastic all-around duffel, you're gonna wanna go with the Patagonia Black Hole. And again, I'm gonna bust that one out here in just a moment. Again, Mystery Ranch, great options. You've got the sternum strap, which is great. The ability to sort of cinch it up, which is also great. Tons of little pockets internally. Tons of just storage overall. You've got internal access to it on the bottom and everything too. Little wet bag area where you can put your shoes and that kind of stuff. But it's just, I can't stand that it's a floppy mess and doesn't stand up on its own. Duffels should be able to stand up on their own, much like the Patagonia Black Hole, which I will show you next. The Patagonia Black Hole. Now, this one is my favorite of all the bags. Although it's not perfect, there are some things that I don't love, but it is my favorite among them all, and here's why. Now, actually, let me start with the cons first. So, I really like on the, and I know this is grossly unprofessional going off the screen there, I really like how on the Mystery Ranch, and for that matter the Osprey, they have the handles on the sides of the bag as well. Now they needed to do that because obviously with the way that the bag closes with that kind of goofy zippering method that you can need a place to hold it because it's a fucking duffel bag. But on the Patagonia, you don't need to, it's more traditional. So they have the traditional straps. Now, admittedly, these straps can kind of get in the way sometimes, although they're not terrible. I always felt like they were a little bit worse on the Peak Design duffel bag, but then it has just classic snapped buttons on it. And they work well. They stay snapped. It's not the most comfortable handle in the world. You can tell that Patagonia was really going for strength and not comfort, but that's okay. You do have handles on the fronts and the back there, something you can sort of rip it out of the truck with, airplane, whatever, no big deal. But there's nothing on the sides as far as handles are concerned. You do need to use the traditional handles. The Patagonia bag though, and you know what, I kind of think that's about the only thing I don't like. Also the straps, like when you wear it as a backpack, are not nearly as comfortable. And I'm gonna go over how you do that in a moment. Anyway, what I like about the Patagonia so much though, is that it is just the most, let me get again, more in frame, it looks better that way, is it's just the most duffeliest of all the duffels. First off, I like how it largely sort of sits up on its own. So when you have it open, you can stuff in it and it just sort of feels a little more natural. The Mystery Ranch, on the other hand, doesn't. If I wanted to buy a backpack, I'd buy a backpack. I wanted to buy a duffel, so this is the duffel. You've got plenty of carabiner spots, you know, little hooks on there that you can attach stuff to, which is awesome. There is a side pocket that you can access both on the outside as well as the inside. And then there is a meshed pocket on the lid as well. Now that is about all for internal storage. Unlike the Osprey, it does not have any of those like luggage straps at the bottom, and frankly, I'm not sure anybody's gonna really miss those all that much, but nevertheless, it's worth pointing out that they are not there. But it does open up in a traditional duffel fashion. So, well, I take that back. Some duffels open from the center. This one opens sort of like a side mouth lid, you know, kind of like this. I just prefer the way this opens. I like that, the way that opens better. I like the way this opens better than the Peak Design. I always thought that center zipper duffels are a little bit tricky to kind of get into and maneuver because like they always wants to kind of close in on itself. This one, you just sort of do this, it's good to go. With the Mystery Ranch and the Osprey, you've got this big lid that's going the long ways and it just, it's not nearly as tight and packed and efficient. For example, going off frame again, yay. Oh, you guys love that. So with the Osprey, when you have it opened like all the way, there's not really an easy way to kind of keep it contained. It just takes up too much space. So if you're in like a tent or something like that, you're gonna have just a little bit of a better time, I think, with the Patagonia. But as far as some cons are concerned, or a con is concerned, the backpack straps are not nearly as comfortable as they are on the Osprey. Osprey makes, you know, some of the best damn backpacks that you can buy. And Patagonia, and Kevin Patagonia does too, to be fair, but Osprey is sort of, that's what they're sort of known for. And how you attach the backpack handles on the Patagonia is you've got these little things here at the top. So you very clumsily take it, first you gotta take the thing. You sort of, and I'm gonna probably have to fast forward through this. You take it, you kind of sort of push it through here. Now this already is a little bit stupid. It just is not as clean and intuitive. I'm gonna snap this little tag off here. Now I can't return it. Now you're gonna sort of do this. And then you take it, buckle it down, take the other side, buckle it down, and now you have it in backpack mode. Now, it's not nearly as comfortable as the Osprey as far as it's sort of having like sort of like suspension built in, but it is a much leaner profile. Frankly, I'm not sure people are going to be sort of exploring with duffel bags. You can tighten it up here on the bottom, which I do like, and it does make it a little bit better. But there's no sternum strap either, although Patagonia was kind enough to give you kind of a way that you could maybe get your own sternum strap. There are little carabiner hooks like right here. You could probably get a little strap to go across, but they didn't come with it. And Patagonia seems like they're kind of getting a little bit cheap lately. They're calling it like an eco move. I think it's just like they're just getting cheap. But nevertheless, you get your own sternum strap. Don't really know how often people are going to be using a duffel as a backpack for long term, but some people might. It also is worth noting that the Patagonia doesn't come with a traditional shoulder strap. But what I did was I took one of the straps off and then just connected it like sort of the kind of the crossways. Sorry, Mike might have, I gotta figure out a better fucking audio solution. Anyway, Mike kind of did this crossways on it. And now you've got more sort of like a traditional backpack duffel. So, still made of incredibly good material. It's like Denier 900 if I'm not mistaken. It's got nice water resistant properties. And I think all around this is just the best duffel that you can get between the group of them. It's 55 liters. It just feels a little tighter and more neatly organized than the other ones. It's not as complicated. It's a little more simple to use. Handles are not as soft or luxurious, but it does have a nice, rough, strong bottom. And the bottom is padded, by the way, which is a really nice touch. Just a great duffel all around. This is going to be the one I'm going to be keeping for my travels. Some people might like the Osprey. You know, the Osprey does have a lot of like nice features that it offers. But I'm not getting the Patagonia. I'd go with the Osprey. I would say skip the Mystery Ranch, although I do like them as a company and their customer support is fantastic. But yeah, go with the Patagonia. Hope this review was helpful. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us in the comments section. Have a wonderful day.